Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, my name is Millie, and today I'm going to be creating 4 looks with probably the most underrated multichromes that are out there, specifically the Clionadh Pastel Multichromes. There are 4 at the time that I'm filming this. Who knows, maybe there's going to be more coming out. And I had really mixed feelings when I first got these originally because these are very, very soft. They're definitely not anywhere near the more black-based multichromes or even the glitter multichromes. These are just a little bit more like, I guess I want to describe them like satin, but you can definitely foil them a bit, but they're just not like the shiniest out of all the multichromes, but they are still beautiful, and these are specifically great for everyday looks, but of course that all depends on your preference. But these are some of these, actually I believe there's 3 of these are very similar to the shades from the Triochrome palette from Natasha Denona, but those are like duller. I was really just not impressed with the multichromes in there, or like just that palette. I mean, the mattes were nice, but I do have a video up with that palette where I compared these to those. So if you're interested in seeing comparison swatches specifically, and if you are only interested in the shades in that palette, and those shades just like on the lid, they were just not as nice as these on the lid. These to me are just really underrated, and I think if you're looking to dip your tones into multichromes and you don't quite like anything sparkly, or if you don't like anything super smoky like the black-based multichromes, then I think this is a great option. And these are really great for just like throwing a matte in the crease and putting these all over the lid, and you got a really beautiful dimensional look. So I'm going to be creating 4 looks, and I'm going to keep them pretty simple. I'm going to be using at most 3 matte eyeshadows, which was for this eye I believe, but otherwise it's going to be mostly 1 or 2 mattes and 1 of the pastel multichromes. Now I really feel like for the most part you could wear these all year round, but I definitely think that some of these are really nice for like, you think spring and summer and pastels, which is what the first look is. And then some of these I feel like are a little bit more fall, especially this one. I believe it is Cathedral. Yes, this one's just like, it's like a multichrome but like grungy, and the tower is just like more of like, when you think of pastels you think of like colorful pastels like blues and just spring and summer. And so I wanted to show you how these look in a look, and I could have used multiple, but I just prefer to not layer my multichromes because then you can't really see the shifts. Now in terms of the shift, of course, because these are just, like I said, more satin, a little bit more subdued, the shift is not like extremely strong, but I think that that might be something appealing to you actually if you don't want something super vibrant and super shifty. And because the shift is just a little bit softer, it really is best to just like really see it in all sorts of lighting, basically like natural lighting, window lighting, fluorescent lighting. Like you're gonna be able to see it as you really move around versus just kind of like straight looking on. So now let's get into the 4 looks. First I'm gonna do a look with Tower, and I'm priming with the Beauty Bay eyeshadow primer. And so for this look, I'm actually going to be recreating a look I did during March Multichrome Madness, and I loved it so much. And this is actually what inspired me to do a video like this. A couple months late, but you know, at least I'm doing it now. And so I'm going in with 8-Bit from the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, and I'm packing it onto the kind of inner portion and blending it upwards. And then I'm also going to put that on the outer corner, kind of packing it on. I've never used this eyeshadow palette with this primer, so we're gonna kind of see how that works together. But I'm just kind of packing it on, and then going to be blending it out. This is gonna be a pretty simple look. I want all of the looks with the pastel multichromes to be pretty simple because I just feel like these are so underrated. I'm sure I'm gonna say that a million times in this video, but I really feel like they're just great for especially like spring and summer. And then some shades are also going to be kind of great for other types of seasons, but you can wear them whenever you feel like, of course. So then going in with Player 1 in the center, I'm just packing it on. This is just the kind of formula I think I prefer to kind of pack on, make sure I get the pigment down, and then blending out the edge. So that's like nice right in the center. And I think I'm gonna go in a little bit more. And then going in with 8-Bit and connecting my lower lash line with that. And then Player 1 right under, kind of mimicking what I did in my crease. So then going in with 8-Bit right here. So I would usually go in with the Pixie Epoxy from Fahrenheit Cosmetics, but I actually had to throw it out because mine was probably like almost 3 years old. I hate to admit that, But we're sticking with water today, so I picked up some on my brush and then I sprayed the brush. And that is working really beautifully. So just kind of blending it out, making sure we have no harsh edges, and almost taking it pretty much like all the way, just kind of creating like a fade out here and then in the inner corner. So I'm going to leave it like this and go on to the second look, but you could of course add like a fun colorful eyeliner wing or something of that sort if you wanted to just like amp it up a little bit. But already this feels like such a great spring and summer look. All right, so then on the contrary, on this side, we're actually gonna do a pretty neutral look. So that'll be kind of interesting to see. And I'm priming with the Be Perfect primer again. I'm gonna be using my Makeup Geek singles, and with these, I prefer to not use a tacky sort of primer or anything that says tacky, so I'm gonna set my lid just a little bit. I just find that this formula doesn't really cooperate with any sort of tackiness. So right in the crease, I'm putting Blushing Beauty from Makeup Geek. This is like a really nice plum toned, and I'm just gonna slowly kind of build it up to where I want it to, putting it in the crease and then blending it up. And I'm actually gonna bring this down a little bit out here and a little bit like further down from my crease, and just kind of fluff it out. And then I'm gonna do just a little bit of what you could leave it totally like this and just do one shade in the crease, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of smokiness out here, just a tiny bit. Going in with a super small blending brush, and I'm just gonna wiggle it in here. It's kind of really diffused. Like really diffused. And I could have just used like something like this so it kind of matches the crease, but I just want it like just a little smoky, just a little bit. So I feel like this next shade I'm using is just going to be really great for like fall, winter. I think it's going to look gorgeous. So once again, I just sprayed my brush after I picked up Cathedral, and I'm putting that pretty much almost all over my lid. Just slowly gonna build it up. Going to try to not like cover up too much of that wing that I tried to do. I could always go over it. And I'm gonna take whatever's left on my brush and just kind of take it sideways in, so it just like creates this like feather effect so there's no harsh edges. I'm gonna do the same over here. Just make sure everything is blended. Going back in with Smoke Signal just a little bit, tapping it on in there. What a contrast between these two. And I'm also going to take Smoke Signal underneath my lower lash line, so that just like really kicks it up a notch, doesn't it? And then Blushing Beauty right underneath there. And again, you could add a black liner or a brown liner to this, but I'm gonna throw in some lashes. So I put on the Kiss lashes in the style Bless, and on the side in the waterline, I put the eyeliner in Santeria from Melt Cosmetics. I actually thought it was brown because this looks brown, but it's red, so my bad. And then on this other side, I have a ColourPop Splash. So here's the first finished look. And here's a second finished look. For the third look, I'm priming with the Be Perfect primer. Actually, I think I prefer this one a little bit over the Beauty Bay, so I'm gonna try this one out. I'm just gonna lightly set that with some translucent powder. So I'm going in with Lavender Dreams from Makeup Geek and putting that like a little bit into the crease but above it, and then putting in the crease Current Obsession from Makeup Geek. Just deepen that up, but we're gonna keep this again to just 2 eyeshadows. I'm gonna kind of build this up and start putting it on my lid, and then just kind of flick it outwards. So then I'm gonna pack it on all over the lid with less of a blending brush. Just take it all the way, and then going back to my smaller blending brush and just blending that on the edges further and out in the crease. Next, I'm going to bring that shade underneath my lower lash line. I picked up Turret and I wet the brush with just some water, and we're going to put it all over the lid. This is such a beautiful color. Very soft, but still like really dimensional. And I'm going to bring it actually a little bit under as well. And I took a little bit of Lavender Dreams and I'm just putting it further in the crease and blending everything, going over the edges. I felt like that Eternally Grateful shade was just kind of not blending out enough for me. Onto the fourth and final look, again priming with the Be Perfect primer. I'm gonna set it a little bit, going in with Mint to Be from Makeup Geek, and I'm gonna put that right in the crease and then blend it up. This time I'm gonna use 3 eyeshadows and then kick it up a notch, just building that up a little bit more. Next, Blew Me Away from Makeup Geek. And I'm blending that into that green and building it up a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back, and then I'm going back to the other brush and blending that all together. I'm putting Time Travel on the outer edge and just deepening it up a little bit, and then blending it in kind of like a V shape. There's a little bit of patchiness going on, so I'm gonna go back in and build it up again. I'm gonna take a little bit of Mint to Be and just go over that. Next, I'm taking Time Travel and connecting my lower lash line. And I only went about halfway because the other half I'm putting Mint to Be. So I picked up Keystone on my brush and then sprayed it a little bit with water. And I'm just putting that on. This reminds me a little bit of Verte from the Deep Iridescence, but this one's just like a bit more subtle. It's not as like bright green. And I'm just kind of putting it everywhere, as you can see. And then I'm gonna blend it out in the crease. It's kind of like a wash of a shimmer. And I'm gonna go with just a little bit more, really get that foiled effect. So here's the third finished look. And here's the fourth finished look. Looks. So those are the 4 looks with the 4 pastel multichromes from Clionadh's Jewel Glass collection. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I used to be really into the black base multichromes, and I still definitely love those, but I really have been finding appreciation for all the different types of multichromes out there, even the more subtle ones. It just really all depends on your preference as well as just your mood that day, and do you want something really smoky or do you want something still dimensional but just a little bit softer. And let me know in the comments below which pastel multichrome is your favorite. Have you tried these, or are you planning on getting them, or what is your favorite type of multichrome from Clionadh? I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the description box. And so if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you subscribe. There's so much indie makeup, lots of shiny, shifty, sparkly, multichrome eyeshadow content already on my channel, and much more to come. So you don't want to miss out. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.